Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Want to make a quick video about some waves that we've been getting hit with. Had a few of you reach out to me, and yeah, I definitely want to address them, which I think it's great. I think it's great that you guys do that because it validates what I'm feeling, and it's completely awesome that you all take the time out to reach out to me. So let's start with the 24th and the 25th of this month. Oh, God. Let's see. What could I say about the 24th and the 25th? We got hit with some kind of, I want to call it a hyperactive energy wave. That's the best way to describe it. It was this hyper feeling that you couldn't sit still. You just couldn't sit still, and you felt like you were going insane. Like seriously, insanity was completely taken over you. Now, when these waves hit, I write them down. I write down the feeling, the date, usually the time, whatever. And it would be good if you guys did the same thing. Keep a log, so this way you could remember, like when you watch my video, to say, hey, you know what? I've been through the same thing on that date that she's talking about. I know some of you guys do that. Me, I forget like 5 minutes ago, so I have to write everything down because I just have a lot of things going on. But I know a lot of you don't have to do that because you remember it. But I think it's important so you could relate. Okay, so getting back to the 24th and the 25th, it was not that usual hyperness where you're just kind of jumping out of your skin feeling. It was more of hyperactivity of your mind. Your mind was just on overload to the point where you felt like you were going to go insane. And it wasn't any like one particular thing that was bothering you. It was just a bazillion different things coming in at different ends, and people just added to it. Somebody needed you for this, somebody needed you for that. You had to take care of this, you had to take care of, and all along, all this energy. Sorry. All this energy was just going through you mentally. Like I said, not so much hyperactivity physically, but more mentally. Okay. Yeah, that was so much fun. The 26th. The 26th was kind of a really weird day. I've had this feeling before. I spoke about this feeling before, and I'm curious to know how many of you, I mean, leave it in the comment section. How many of you have went through this on the 26th? Because I had quite a few of my friends actually reach out to me and were saying things, and I'm like, holy shit. And they're not even, like, some of them not even awake. And they were telling me, what do you think this means? Why am I going through this? Why was I thinking about this? The 27th was a nostalgic day. Now, what I mean by that, I don't mean that, you were just kind of reminiscing about the past. It was more of a certain feeling in the air that brought back a time in your memory, a time long, long, long ago. Not, how can I put this? For me, it was a feeling in the air, and I remember a time when I was 10 years old, not doing any particular thing or anything really happening, but I remember sitting outside and smelling the air, and I was looking at the sky. And on the 27th, as soon as I woke up that morning, it hit me. Like I was actually, I would have to say, I wasn't even here a majority of the day. In the majority of the day, I was stuck in my mind in that nostalgic state. And I went through about 3 different nostalgic moments. Okay. And honestly, I can't even tell you where the day went. Everywhere I went, I just felt like it was weird because I'm driving my car, and naturally you have to pay attention to where you're going. And at the same time, I'm back in that time when I was 10 years old, breathing in that air and feeling that tranquility. Yeah, and throughout the day it was like that, and that lasted hours and hours and hours. No matter what I did, it was still going on in the back of my mind. And then another memory came back to me, but like it's not a memory; it's the feeling of the air around you when that particular thing happens. I think I explained it okay. I don't have to explain it a million times because I tend to do that sometimes, you know, because the things I'm trying to explain are not easy. Yes, I'm curious to know if any of you guys felt that. You know, some people have reached out to me saying, wow, it's really weird. I was just thinking about a time when I spent time with my uncle and we were at this barbecue and I remember smelling the food cooking and why would I even be thinking of this? I haven't thought of this in years. I actually feel like I'm in that place right now. And I got quite a few. And one of my close friends, first thing in the morning, she says nostalgia, and I was like, bingo, and she felt it too. And we have a very strong connection, me and my girlfriend. We've been friends forever. And just a quick story, she never really knew Mimi until maybe about, I don't know, about 10 years ago, I started opening up to her, and now she loves it. You know, she's learning so much that she's a completely different person, different attitude in life, and she looks at things differently. And it's amazing to watch how much she's grown. It's just it's amazing, you know. So, you know, right away, like we tap into each other's energy, and that's the best way I could describe it, that nostalgic feeling. Like I said, I've had that throughout my life, but recently a lot more. I spoke about this. I did a show with Black Sheep Researcher, and I touched on it just a little bit. That in 2015, not 2015, 2 years before the Mandela effect, which was what, the 13. I was sitting in my car and I was talking about this nostalgic feeling that came over to me to one of my friends, and I had said something was changing, something is, you know, I was just getting into the whole thing, which they didn't quite understand that much anymore until, you know, somebody came out with this whole Mandela effect and they're like, holy shit, I remember that conversation. But I want you guys, if you are experiencing it, if you did experience that on the 27th, uh, which today is the 29th and I'm still feeling it. So it hasn't stopped for me. It's been a constant. I want you to leave a comment and maybe even tell me what you're feeling, okay? It's important that you don't have to figure out what happened that in that time that's making you, you know, think about it. Now, that's not important. What's important is the feeling. Okay, I want you to feel it as like, is it a tranquil feeling? Is it a feeling that disturbs you? Because I had one that I was like, please no more. I don't want to feel that no more. And it wasn't a particular thing I was thinking about. Like I said, it was just I couldn't. It made me very, very, very uncomfortable, and I just didn't like it, and I wanted to throw up. I honestly didn't. I might even throw up because I think I remember telling somebody I threw up, but it was just like I just wanted to get out of that feeling. But pay attention to it and see what you get. Okay, if you're getting a positive feeling about it, try to stay in that vibration. There's a reason for it. Ah, shit. There's a reason for it, okay? If that's happening and it's still happening to you, or if it didn't happen yet, whatever the case may be, when it does, and you get that positive memory of a feeling, I want you to try to hold on to that as much as you can throughout the day, okay? And hold on to it in the sense where, I mean, it's not going to let you go anyway. It's just going to keep presenting itself. Like I said, I was on autopilot, and I was there and I was here at the same time. But just feel content, feel that happiness come over you, and try to hold on to it. And Believe me when I tell you there is a reason for it. The reason is really not that important. Just trust me, okay? Try to hold on to it. Okay, so let's see. I have my notes in front of me. I want to ask you guys a question. Has anyone completely lost one day? I know sometimes, we could lose an hour or 2 or 3 and go, wow, what the hell? I just walked from there to there and an hour passed by. Like, what's going on? I don't mean that, even though that's like crazy. I mean an entire day. Just didn't happen. There's no memory of it. The date fell on, we'll say the 28th, which should have been Saturday, but the 28th was Sunday, and you lost a complete day. There's no memory of it. I'd like to know if anybody has experienced that. Okay. Right. So, wow, this chair is so uncomfortable, but it's the only chair that evens up with the camera. So, okay. I want to get into some symptoms. Lately, people are talking about waking up with scratches. And I mean like deep scratches. Not from a cat or your dog or your bird or your husband's toenails. No, I mean like deep scratches in really weird places, okay? That they're like all over your arm. I had one person send me a picture actually, and he had letters like scratched into his arm. Okay. So kind of bizarre. And what made it more bizarre was his initials. So it's kind of weird. And he's not crazy. This guy is far from crazy. Trust me when I tell you. Okay. Oh yeah. Waking up with scratches. For me, it's been bruises. I've been waking up with black and blues, like on my arm. Like seriously, I still can't even touch this part of my arm. And it's both sides, and I can't figure out why. And this has been like this for about 2 weeks. It's still swollen. I didn't bang it. I have no idea. I've just been waking up. I don't get that many black and blues. It's not so much black and blues. It's like you touch it, it's swollen. Like I don't know. Just a lot of people complaining about that. Another thing, which I think is kind of creepy when people text me pictures of their eyeball, but swelling of the eyes out of nowhere. Just waking up in the morning or just going about your shit, and in the middle of the afternoon, your eye just kind of swells up. I had someone send me a picture of her eyeball, which is kind of creepy, but you could compare, you could look, and one eye was completely swollen, and it's not due to allergies because the person's not allergic to anything. At the same time, a very good friend of mine sent me a picture, and the same thing had happened to her, and she went to urgent care, which they had rushed her to the emergency room thinking that she possibly had a stroke because of what was going on. And she had lost vision in that eye also. I might have talked about that, I don't know. So a lot of things going on with that. This month, I'm talking about the whole month of July, kind of doing like a little, maybe a recap. I don't know, because like I said, I don't really watch my videos after I record them. I just move on to the next thing. So yeah, so you have bruises and scratches just popping up out of nowhere. Another thing which I've experienced also is water retention, like serious water retention. What the hell? Okay, I love salt, but there are days when I go without having any salt, weeks, months, whatever, and then all of a sudden this water retention, and like, what the fuck is going on? And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And then you just, as fast as it comes, it stays for a little, it just goes, and you just urinate and urinate and urinate, and it comes all out, and you kind of feel good, like you feel cleansed. I can't explain it, but the water retention has been a big thing. Another one that I haven't experienced yet, but apparently a few of you have, is your skin feeling like plastic. Yes, your skin feeling like plastic, like nothing feels real, but it literally feels like plastic. Okay. I had one guy, which is it's really not funny, but it kind of he kind of compared it to a woman with implants, and he was like, you know that rubbery feeling. I'm like, no, I don't know the rubbery feeling, but he's like, yeah, it kind of felt like that, and my skin feels like that. It feels rubber. It doesn't feel right. Everything feels kind of sticky, clammy, fake kind of thing. Like I said, I have not experienced that, which I guess would be good because it'd be like a mini facelift. So I'm not going to complain if that happens. But oh, that's Bad Thunder. So yeah, that's another thing. Uh, I'm gonna touch on something that I wasn't sure if I was going to do on this show, but I'm going to do it on this video. Um, I would like to know how many of you are experiencing people very, 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 very close to you that are awake just as much as you are, that you have a very big connection with, and you became friends or whatever. And like I said, you're both on the same page. If you've noticed that they're not on that page anymore, they're not that same person anymore. It's how can I put it? They're still awake, but went on a different path. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, you could known this person for months or years and always been talking about one particular thing, whether it be consciousness or whatever, and reality timeline shifts, whatever. And all of a sudden, they just went on to something else where they don't even really acknowledge that anymore. And the sound of their voice is completely different to you. This is a difficult one. And the hair looks a different color. Their skin looks different. Some look younger, some look older, some they just changed. And for me, this was a really big deal. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to bring it up. I had experienced this about a week ago, and it threw me through a loop so very, very bad. Listen, guys, I get it. I'm still having a human experience. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. I'm still, like I said, I'm still having a human experience. And I think that always scared me. Like, I understand that people in our lives will fall away. I mean, they will, those that don't relate, and they look at you like you're crazy and your spouses are different, and I get that. Yes, it's going to happen, and you're going to have to learn to let go. You're going to have to learn to let go. I mean, if they're open-minded and it's somebody you could talk to about, you talk to them about these things, and they're like either here or there, but they're still open to it. That's great. But you have people that their relationships are falling apart, their marriages are falling apart, their lives are just falling apart because they don't relate, and you have to let them go. That means they're not coming with you. And not that you're going to a physical place, but you're changing frequencies. They're still going to be there, but a different aspect of them. I've talked about that in my other videos. um Somebody dear to me, I came across last week, and I I was thrown so far back that I started hyperventilating. And I mean seriously, hyperventilating. And yes, I did throw up because I remember that. And just then, my friend Paul Knight had just reached out to me, and a friend on Facebook, Steven, who was also in the chat when we did a live stream this morning. Um, I was beside myself, and I just couldn't talk. And the only thing I said to them was, I just had something so bizarre happen to me that I can't catch my breath. I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm trying to, and I know I have to compose myself, and I have to look at it, and I have to say, okay, this is what it is, and this, and that's how I do it, and that's how I get through it. And for the last few days that they've been trying to make me laugh, and send me things, funny jokes and stuff like that, because they knew how, especially Paul, because I had spoken to him, and I guess he's never really heard me cry, but I was beside myself. I just couldn't, not that I couldn't grasp it, I didn't want to accept it, because when you meet people that are on that same vibration, and you share that same common ground, you feel like you're home, you know? And when they change, which I didn't think would happen, I mean, we're all having our own experience, our own illusion of our experience. I get that, but I didn't think that someone that was awake on the same vibrational frequency would be able to go away and branch off and look so different. And when that happened, I started getting, and this might have happened to you guys, I want to know, like I started getting visions of who they were, our conversations, who they are now, what the difference is. I shifted to a place where I'm experiencing another them. And in some ways it kind of hurt me because I wasn't ready for it. And I went back and forth with it, and I'm like, I want to reach out to this person or persons, and I want to tell them I've known you somewhere else, and this is what you're doing on that timeline. But I can't. So I can't do that. So I had to kind of accept it, and I'm still going through it, but I'll be all right, because maybe in another shift, that person or persons that I once knew will be there again. I'll experience them again. And I know that a lot of you are going through that, like I said, with relationships and stuff. And I had, I guess I wasn't going to talk about it, but the reason why I did bring it up is because I had this woman reach out to me, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I would have to look on Messenger. But we're not friends on Facebook. But she had messaged me, or maybe I don't even know. But I went into my message request for some reason, and her message was in there, and I could feel this woman's pain. Oh my God. And I'm not going to put it in her exact words because I don't recall her exact words, but she had says to me that she hates it here. She hates this timeline, that her whole life has fell apart, that nobody is who she used to know. And, her family was always one way. Her friends were always one way. Now they're completely different, and she hates it. And she wants to know if there's a way to go back. And when I read this, it was hard, man, because you could feel the desperation in her pleas, like I just want to know, can I go back to that old timeline? And I says to her, I mean, it was too much for me to text back. So I says to her, I would address it, and I want to do so now. How can I put this? People always say time traveling, you can go back and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, things exist on different frequencies, which I spoke about on the other videos, which are freeze framed and blah, blah, blah. I don't even have to get into that. But to answer your question, that saying, once you're awake, right, there's never going back to being asleep. You'll never be asleep. It's not going to happen, and you are awake. If it was something like just minor shifts, where things were changing, and you were like, I wish we had the happy times again and stuff like that. There is a way, because that timeline still exists, but there isn't anymore. You can't go back to that timeline because everything has changed. Your surroundings changed. History has changed. It's gone. It's no longer there. It's gone. But the thing that you can do, instead of fearing this reality, this wave that we're on, this experience, instead of fearing it and looking at as a negative thing, as negative as it may be, because nobody is the same. And believe me, I feel it. I understand. But if you can tap into, instead of saying, I miss this and I miss that and I hate it and I hate it, if you can look at it and go, what is it that I miss about it? Well, I miss the gentle touch of my husband, and he was more compassionate. And if you can do that, and do that life review of how it made you feel and what you considered was perfect in your life, you will be able to resonate on that frequency where that will exist for you once again. But the major changes, as far as history changing and the globe, that's never going to change. But you're able to go to that frequency where you could still have that experience. And even better, actually even better, because I'm sure that timeline that you were on was not 100%. Maybe bills couldn't be paid, or maybe a few things going on in that timeline. I don't have to get into it, right? All right. So, because I just seen it, but yeah, but you could tweak it. You could tweak it to make the next jump what you want to experience. And that's the best way that I could explain it. Like I said, although people say you can go back, not something like this. You can't. You just can't, because you can't ignore it. If you wake up and everything was the way it used to be, and all of a sudden you go out and that house was not there, it's a constant reminder that things are changing. There's no, you can't do it. You can't go back. It's still changing. But like I said, hold on to that, because now is the time to bring in your life what you want to experience. And it's not so much trying to be positive all day long. No, it's about thinking about all the positive things that have happened to you in your life, the feeling it gave you, the happiness it brought you, and hold on to it. Just hold on to that one thing every day. Just hold on to the feeling. I keep telling the people I sound like a broken record. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, there was such thing as records. But hold on to that feeling, because like I had mentioned before, your chapter, your story, your book is closed. Your new book is open, and it's waiting for you. You're going to have negative and you're going to have positive, and you're going to choose which one you're going to give strength to. And like I've said before, if things come your way, people piss you off, negativity comes in. If you pretend that these things don't bother you, it's ridiculous. You're just going to chase your fucking tail. It ain't going to happen. You look at it and you vent for that quick second. You give your peace of mind, and then shift to something that makes you happy. Do it, because now is the time. And the window is closing. It's happening so fast. We should have been allowed a lot more time to be able to change our experience as we started waking up and realizing that we do have a certain amount of control over what we experience in this reality. We should have had more time. But for some reason it's closing. It's going so very, very fast. Like, ow, I can't explain it. And you have to do it. Even if you're doing it half-ass, you got to do it. Do it the best you can. Try to always stay in that moment. For me, a lot of times, like when I feel that negative feeling, I think of my son as a little boy, like when he was 2 years old. And one time I completely dressed him, which took me an hour because the kid would fight me every minute. And I finally got him dressed. I got my keys and we're going out, and I turn around, he's completely naked. Not only is he completely naked again, but he ran out of the house and I had run down the block after him. And I think of this, and it was the cutest little thing because he had the chubbiest little butt, and things like that. Like, I'll think of that. Or I have a certain song that I sing in my head. And I feel like things are crawling on me. And you need to stay on that vibration no matter how much your ass is getting kicked. And you will be able to create what you want to experience. And that's a fact. And you could say, well, who is this girl, and how does she know? And she knows for so she's so sure, and she blah blah. Just try it. You don't have to believe me, but why won't you just try it? Are you afraid that I might be right? Are you afraid that, oh shit, you know what? It's true. How do I process this? I'm telling you it's true. Try it, right? You try on shoes to see if they're comfortable. We'll try this on. Doesn't cost you anything, right? It just costs what? Your attention, positive attention. Um, Another thing I want you guys to do if you can, well, actually, there's two things. I want you to, this is the time, okay? I want you to realize just how unbelievable your lives have been. And the way I've spoke about this on a show, I want you to do it because I do it myself, and I want you to try it. Regardless of what you believe in, I'm going to use what I believe in, okay? I believe in God, my father, right? I want you guys to sit in a place, a quiet place, and I want you to pretend that you died and you went back to heaven, right? Although we never left, but we're not going to get into that. You went back to heaven, and waiting for you were all these little angels that never had the human experience. They never came here, right? So they want to know from you, oh, tell us, what was it like? What did you do? Tell us everything, okay? And you're going to sit there and you're going to tell them everything you experienced. And I don't care if it takes you an hour or two. I don't care if it takes you, if you're able to do 5 minutes and then continue your story to them, like you're reading a book to a child or you're reading a book to yourself. I don't care if it takes you a month to finish it. You're gonna finish it. So you're gonna start out with, well, when I first came into existence, the first thing I remember was riding a bicycle. And a bicycle is this metal thing. It's made out of this thing, and it's got wheels, and you get to ride it, and you feel the wind in your hair, and you feel so superior to everything, and you're gonna get into all these details. I fell in love, and this is what it felt like, and this is, and we divorced, and this is what it felt like. I had a child, and I watched my child go through this, and everything. And when you are done, I guarantee you are going to say to yourself, holy fuck, my life is pretty amazing. Holy shit. Yeah, it's that amazing. Regardless of any of the things that you call negative and misfortunes and all the stuff that you had, when you hear yourself talking to the angels to explain the experience and the emotions that you felt tied to all those incidents that happened to you, you're going to think that your story is like, could be the bestseller. It's like a fucking novel. I mean, some people think that already because they've been through so much, but I mean, on a spiritual level, you're going to look at it and go, whoa, and something's going to click. I'm not going to tell you what, but something's going to click inside of you. And when it does, you will never look at your past story the same again. And I'd like to know if that happens. Okay? Well, better yet, you know what? You don't even have to tell me. Keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself, because it's going to be the most greatest thing that has happened to you. Okay, yeah. So I want you guys to do that. Another thing, this is kind of challenging, but try as much as you can. I want you guys to be aware all the time, as much as you can throughout the day, of your being, of your consciousness. Okay. Although you're going to get caught up in, got to drive the kids to soccer practice, and my husband's a pain in the ass, and I have to do this. And although you get caught up in the everyday play, I want you to bring yourself back as much as you can and be aware that you are consciousness. Be aware that you are observing your life. Look at what's going on. Keep bringing yourself back to yourself. Okay, to letting go of the play, letting go of the character that you're portraying. Oh, I'm a mother in this character. You know what? In this one, I'm a woman from New York that sounds half Jewish and half Italian, whatever the case may be, right? But when you start to do that, you'll find that you start to be consciously aware throughout the day of your soul, of who and of what you really are. And when you're able to do that, a lot of things start changing around you for the positive. And you're faster to, I hate the word manifest things, but you're faster. It's faster. You're able to do it faster because an understanding comes along with it when you don't get lost in the moment of everyday shit that you do. That's the other thing I want you guys to do and see how that works for you. All right. So yeah, I wanted to touch on those things. So we touched on some symptoms. The sleeping. I didn't get into the sleeping. I don't know where you guys are at right now, but the sleeping is null. It's null and void. There is no sleeping. There's close your eyes, wake up. I'm good. You're up. There is no sleeping. You have to force yourself and be like, but you're not supposed to be up. Throughout the night, you're supposed to be sleeping. Yeah, that kind of thing. Let's see, what else? What else do I have here? Okay. Yeah, another thing, I think is kind of interesting. If you're into zodiac signs, I think it's kind of cool to watch a couple of videos on that, because there's a lot of people, a lot of shit going on with a lot of people. So you can see that you're not alone, especially if you're a Capricorn. I know Capricorn is getting their asses handed to them, basically. For some reason, they are really, really struggling with this, aside from Aquarius, which Aquarius is just, there are just no words to even explain, like the heaviness of the weight of the world on their shoulders right now. Also you have Gemini. Gemini is really weird too, because a lot of Gemini people tend to suffer from depression, or they would be called bipolar, which is no such thing. But anyway, they're finding themselves climbing out of that depression and getting pushed back, climbing out and getting pushed back. And when they do climb out, they want to look into different things, because Gemini people are very smart. They're very spiritual. And they go towards that, and then they give up and they fall right back into their old ways. So it's like a push and pull kind of thing with them. I don't have all the zodiacs written down right now, so I'm just going to go through a couple. Pisces is still at their game. They're still into making people happy, and they're getting hit with the waves too, and they're trying to keep that positive attitude and try to lift people, although they're really getting slammed. Scorpio people, they have a hyper energy about them. A lot of ups and downs throughout the day. 1 minute feeling empowered, the next minute feeling insecure. Also, I noticed a lot with Scorpios, they're getting a large amount of signs and symbols to help them on their path. They really are. So if you guys are Scorpio, I mean, we all are, but Scorpio for some reason has been getting it a lot. Okay. Let me see. Taurus, I have to say right now, is still in the life review state, where they're trying to heal old wounds. They want to shed that codependency thing, whatever it may be, whether it be, financial or whatever the case may be. They want to step out of that, and they just be themselves and, start anew. They're still reflecting on past hurts, and you got to get out of that, and you got to get out of it really quickly. I got Virgo. Virgo, gee, I don't even know what to say about Virgo. Is having a really, really hard time. At this point, I have to say that Virgo people, and this is not everybody, okay, trust me, because some people have overcome this and they're at a different stage. This is, for a certain amount of people that it resonates with, but Virgo right now feels dual. They feel as if they are two different people, completely two different people. And, one is this way and the other one is this way. And they're kind of like at a tug of war, like which one to become full time, if that makes any sense. So yeah, there's a battle. There's a battle with the Virgo. Let's see, Leo is in thinking mode right now. A lot of thinking mode with Leos. Leos are, you know what? I need to shed this shit, get rid of this person, get rid of that person. I don't trust that one. I don't like that one. You're going through your whole, they're going through their whole friends list of, who they could trust, who they cannot trust, and who they need to let go of. Yeah. I'm sorry, but oh yeah, okay. I have Cancer. That's it. The Sagittarius I didn't do, and there was another one I missed. Cancer. Cancer right now is in a very quiet place, but at the same time, not grounded to one thing. Where before they kind of were, at this point they're not. They're trying to find not balance, but they're not grounded to anything. They're calm, but they feel in some ways becoming detached, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Without realizing that they're becoming very detached. Time is going very fast for them also, but it's becoming more of a routine, sticking with the routine when they don't feel that way about the routine anymore. I mean, those that are cancers, I don't really know many cancers. So, I mean, if it resonates with you, that's great. Yes, I did Pisces, Gemini, Virgo. Yes, Sagittarius. Sorry, guy, Libra. I'm sorry, but I'll try to do it again on the next show if I get around to it, you know. So basically, the bottom line is we're all feeling something. We're definitely all feeling something, and we'll be okay. And we got to go through it. We're learning. And with that, I'm already, I believe, 41 minutes in, and I'm sweating to death. So I'm gonna say goodbye, and we will definitely touch base and keep those comments coming, keep those messages coming. I want to know what you're feeling because, like I said, I compare it to me and many others, and I'm like, okay, this is happening. You can't just go based on one person, right? So it has to be a bunch. And I love you all, and I will see you back here very soon. Bye.